Now that we've finished the train, we're going to start dimensioning it in a set of working drawings. Now these are going to be a little more detailed than anything you're used to, so be sure you follow along quite well here, because it's easy to get lost, but it's really easy to do if you just pay attention to little details. So the first thing we're going to do is click New, and this time we're going to work with an SPHS C. So this is a C-size sheet of paper. It's going to be bigger. What we're going to do here is just call this our miniature train. Whoops, train, Peterson 1, and the cover sheet is always going to be the first page. Okay? So once we have this, you can see now our border here, our little template, is a lot smaller than it used to be. It doesn't take up as much page space because this is a much bigger sheet of paper. So just like we always do, we're going to come in here and drop the assembly. We're going to drop the explosion. I'll go ahead and put the explosion first. And you want it a good ISO top right. So remember, if you didn't make yours in the correct orientation, just click the custom view right here. Set it whichever orientation you need it to be. ISO top right is pretty normal for us though. So you want it in this orientation. And then just say finish custom view. We want it to be shaded. We want no trails, and we want no tangent edges. And we can just hit OK here. Right click OK. And now we have our train body set down. Next we'll want to add the assembly. So I'm going to just come back to base, add in the assembly, and put it right next to it. ISO top right again. Oops, I forgot to color this one, so I'm going to come back in and shade it. Make sure my tangent edges are turned off. Alright, there we go. So we'll just kind of take these, make sure they're centered up. Next thing you're going to want to do is add your parts list and balloon it. So under annotate, you're going to click parts list and choose your parts list here in your file. You want it out of the train assembly, so I'm going to go down to train assembly, hit OK, hit OK. It's going to tell you this thing about a bill of materials. Just hit OK on that. And then dock this down here in the bottom corner. Now if we look at it, it's got some blanks. We want to alter these. So I'm going to double click on them. Click on my first column chooser button here. And just remove description. And I want to add in material and volume. So material, we're going to add it over there. And volume, we're going to add over there. Okay, and we're just going to hit OK. Apply that, and OK. And then you should see here a nice updated parts list. Now remember, these should be in all caps. So if yours is like this one, just come back through, retyping whatever it is you need to use here. So I've done cow catcher, axle peg, oops, hitch magnet. Now if you hit enter, it'll do what just happened. So be sure you hit the down arrow, or you can click on the next one. Either way you want to do it. And then all these generics, remember we should have changed this to ABS plastic. So make sure you change over to ABS plastic in your parts. So do that to all of them, hit apply. Then you should see over here, it might be a little bigger, you might have to readjust some things. But it should all fit. Eventually make it all nice and pretty. Okay? So once you have this part done, we're going to go ahead and balloon it. So balloons, let me show you how these should look. You kind of want some kind of rhyme to them, or reason, or pattern. So again, make sure that you're clicking in your edge. Do you see how my edge of the leader here is coming from the inside of the part? We don't want that. We want the edge to come from the edge of the part. Alright? So it should point directly at an edge. It shouldn't go over a part like this. You'll be reduced points for that. So be sure you get it coming off of an edge. Alright? Let me move this up real quick. See, I'm just going to delete it all together. We'll start that over. So balloon, I'm going to come from the edge here, and I'm just going to double click. And then my next one, like say the train body, I'm going to come up about at the same angle as the other line, and then put it on line. So you can see here how the dots show that it's on the same line. And that just keeps things looking kind of nice, like you planned it, so they're not just slapped up on there. Alright, so those are those four, and then you come down here and do the same thing to the rest of them. So say you want, oops, didn't mean to double click that. Say you want to get your cow catcher here, and then your wheel as well, put it on the same line, your axle peg on the same line, your linkage arm on the same line. So that one's not wanting to play, but we can get it close enough. And then finally this last one. Okay, so now you can see they're all lined up and they look good. All right. Next thing we're gonna do is set up the train body. So I'm going to come back here to place views, hit new sheet, fill this in again, miniature train, Peterson, first period, and then train body. Now this is where things are going to get different for us. So with this new dimensioning that you're going to use, the first thing you want to do, let's pick our train body. Alright. The first thing you want to do is start with the front view. Okay, so I'm going to click my front view down here, and then I'm going to move to my right, I'm going to move to my top, and then I'm going to set my ISO up, and then create it. Now the thing is, this is a little small, so we're going to size this up a little more. So I'm going to do a scale of, I don't know, 1.5 to 1 looks like it would do good. Okay, and now I'm going to turn the light on since we've changed the scale here, and I'm going to type in train body, and then hit OK. Okay, so now we're a little bit bigger and we can move some things around. Alright? Alright, front, top, right. Now if you notice, this isn't like we normally do. There's parts all over the place, kind of hard to see, hard to read. So we're going to move them around. Let me take this guy and scale it up too real quick. Okay, and then we want to color this in. Alright, so now we can dimension it this way, or you can move some views around if you'd rather have you know, some other lines to look at, you know, if you want this thing to be your view over here, and maybe you want to do an ISO top left, that's okay. But this is a good starting point for you here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is come in, and for every single hole, once we have the isometric fixed and all the drawings scaled up or down what we want, we're going to come in here and we're going to add what's called center marks. So here you see this little crosshair looking plus sign, that's a center mark. And you're going to click center mark and just come in and click every single hole. Okay? Every single hole. So these are for actual holes. So if they're circular, you click on them. Okay? So every view, even this big one right here, that you see, you want to click your center mark. Okay? And what this is doing is making it so we can dimension to it. Alright? And then up here, here's another center line. Oops. Another center mark, hard to see. This is a center mark. Just going to slap them all on there. Okay, so once you've knocked out your center marks, you want to go next to the one above it. This is a center line bisector. So this is where, say you have these holes, right, for your axle. Your center line bisector is going to come in where it's not a circle, and it's going to add you a little center mark in the middle of it. So I'll show you how. I'll do it here to this one. So I'm going to click. Don't do it where you have this dot. You want to make sure you get on the line, and then your next line here. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm clicking on the wrong one. This is centerline bisector. I clicked on this first button here, which is centerline. We want centerline bisector, this version here. So you're going to click, and you're going to click, and it's just going to put a line right through the middle, and now we know that this is a hole. So without doing that, we don't know if this thing is round, or if it's square, or a triangle, or what. So the centerline bisector tells us that this is actually a hole, and this is the center of that hole. So you just need to come in on all of your centerline bisectors here and add them in. And this is important again because this is what you have to dimension to. Alright? Here's some more. Here's some more. So these are the axle pegs. Alright? Where the axle pegs go in. This is where the hitch magnet goes in. So we see here now that we have centerline bisectors on all of our circles. We have center marks, centerline bisectors. I'm missing a bisector here. And one right here in the back. So once we have all that, we can start dimensioning now. So where I'm going to start is right here, just in the front view. Why not? I'm going to take this train body wording here and move it, if it'll let me. Go back to place views. I just want that so I can put dimensions there. So maybe I'll take this and just move it up with where the train body is, so people can tell that the scale has actually been blown up a little bit. Oops. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start here just with a regular old annotate, and we want to do a baseline. And I'm just going to start at this edge, and I'm going to click all three of my center marks. Okay, and then right click continue, and now you can see I have a dimension coming out of the center of my circle, and that's the point of the center marks. And if you click them correctly, there will be a little gap in between each one, and that's what we're looking for. Alright? And then after you do that, we can just kind of roll through here and start clicking on, let me show you how to do a hole, or let's do, I don't know, it doesn't really matter, there's so many things to dimension. I'm going to pick a just regular dimension here, and I'm going to click on this hole. Now what you want to do is the hole's very last. So this hole has a radius of 0.250. Now whoever created this hole, they didn't use the hole tool, so it doesn't tell you how deep the hole goes, right? So you're going to have to come in here and manually change that depth. And the depth of that, how you do it, so let me delete this off so you can see, when you dimension, it says R.0250. In here, you're going to have to come in and add on the down arrow to drill it down a depth of 0.0250. Enter. Let's put a 0 in front just so it looks good. There we go. And maybe a space right here as well. So now you can see the radius and we know how deep that hole goes. Alright? Now if we use the hole tool with threads here, when you click on these, it'll give you the thread call out. But this one does not have that. So again, these holes will need to be changed. So this, now you have to just type in 1/4. Oops. Right. Delete this. 1/4 dash 20. Uh-oh. Don't even look what I'm doing. 1/4 dash 20 UNC dash 2B times 4. Now this is because the thread tool wasn't used here. Again, so if you used the correct thread tool, I'm gonna delete this. I don't remember quite how to delete this, to be honest with you. Oh, here we go, hide dimension value. So you want to hide dimension value, and then we overrode it with what it is. 1/4 20 UNC dash B2 times 4. Okay, so that tells us all 4 of these. And then you'll just keep kind of coming through here and hitting dimensions. So remember, when you dimension, say you want to know the height of this circle. That's going to go from the bottom here to the middle, to the center mark, and that's where your height is. Okay? Don't get too crazy with the dimensions, but give it a good try. Get it as good as you can, and we'll go over it and help you out and get you into the right spot. So again, be sure you do the leaders last, because what's going to happen is you're going to get a whole bunch of dimensions on the page, and you don't want these leader lines to cross over on top of extension or dimension lines, which will happen. You'll have them like this, and you'll lose points for that. We don't want that. We don't want this to cross over. So lay all your vertical and horizontal dimensions first, and then come in and add your leader dimensions. Also, you see how this is coming from the edge here. Make sure you don't have it doing this little number where it's extending the arc so you can dimension to it. Make sure your number's off the part, you're not crossing over. This should be coming right off, nothing to add extra confusion or anything. So give that a shot. When you're done with this, we're going to add in the next page. And the next page is going to be train parts, and this is going to be very different. So let me show you how that works. Peterson 1 train parts. Now these are going to be all the little parts of the train, okay? And in here we're going to do section views and all kinds of cool stuff. So what I'm going to do first is just, I'm going to throw the stack in there. Okay, stack. And my stack, I want the top view of the stack, because I'm going to make this a section view. And then this I'm going to scale up about 2 to 1. Okay, so I'm just going to set this right here. And that's it. Right click, OK. Now what I want to do is make a section view of this. And I think I'm going to do a quarter section. I'll show you how that works. So we're going to click on section. You're going to click on this view so it knows we want to do a section view in here. And we're going to find the center. So once you find the center, you can see that little dot there, right? So I'm going to click. I'm going to come up to the center. I'm going to click again, left click. And then I'm going to come here, left click again, and then right click, continue. And you'll see if I go up or down. This one, I want it to stand up this way, so I'm going to go down. I'm going to click again and say OK. And now that is drawn a half section for us. So we'll move this up a little bit so we can see all the pieces. Okay, so here you can see section A has been drawn, and half this little piece right here is missing, and it shaded it in and everything for you. So once you do that, you're going to do projected. So we want to project a view of this right here. So I'm going to hit projected. I'm going to click on this front view, and now I've projected out a little image of this thing cut in half. Now on your projection here, I want to click this override button and shade this in. Okay, and then we'll just take that projection and put it right here on top. So you have kind of like a stack of these. We'll put the ISO up top, we'll put the section in the middle, and then we'll put this down here. Now all of your dimensions are in the packet, you just got to copy them off. Again, if you made it easy on yourself, like use the hole tool here, you should be able to dimension. Oh, I just realized I did that wrong. So if I click this, it's not going to give me the dimension I want. It's just going to be the diameter. What you need to click on is hole and thread here. And then when you click, it'll give you the callouts for that. You see what I mean? So it will give you the callouts. So I did say wrong earlier. Let me get out of this and go back to this page. This person probably did do it correctly. You don't have to write in all that information. Click on hole and thread, and then dimension it there. Okay? So I apologize for whoever's drawings these are. I told you to do wrong, but as long as you use the hole tool, these holes should be dimensioned for you. Okay? And look at that, they are. So good job, whoever's drawing this is. Alright, so back to the train parts. This is a bad dimension, don't copy that one. Okay, so just go ahead and finish off the dimensions based on what you see in your packet. From here, we're going to set up the rest of the pieces, though. So I'm going to place some more views. Let's go with the hitch magnet. The hitch magnet, I'm going to scale down to, I don't know, 3:1. Okay, and again, we're just going to look at the top view of this, so it should look something like this. And I'm going to click it down. Okay, and since this thing is hollow, I'm going to take a section view of this as well. Okay, and this one I'm going to do a full section. Just going to cut it right in half. Okay, put that there. And for this one, I'm not going to project a cut in half version. Let's just take a look at the whole thing. So be sure you're clicked on this front view here, or the top view, I'm sorry, and project off of that. And we'll just project a regular old isometric of it. So we want to make sure all our isometrics are facing the same angle. Next, let's work on, I don't know, any of the other parts. That doesn't really matter which ones we do. Axle peg looks good. So the axle peg, we'll just do a standard front and top on this. Now if you notice there's no threads here, what we need to do is double click here, go to display options, and thread feature. Okay, and now it'll show us the threads so we can dimension those. So when you do annotate this, just remember you can click hole and thread, click right here, and it'll give you that thread call out. Alright, and then we do still want our projected view of this. For up top, we do want this to be in color. Let's just kind of move some things around here so this fits up there. What we're going to do at the very end is kind of make all of these go into one place and spread them out so they look nice. Alright, let's go to the next one. We got the hitch peg. Okay, hitch peg. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to the top. Oops. Let me redo that so I can show you how it'd be easier. Instead of all the ways that I'm doing it, making extra clicks. Let's just do front, top, and ISO. Okay, and then just move your ISO up top, and then double click. There you go. What else we got? The linkage peg. That's another little one. You know what I haven't been doing on this either is my scale. So I'm going to go back and check on the scale here. That one will probably work 2:1. I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to make it 3:1 or 2:1 instead of 3:1. 3:1 seems a little big. This one looks pretty good the way it is. Okay. Let's go ahead and put my linkage peg down there. Wow, look how big that one is. I'm going to make this one 3:1 as well, just keeping it in line with the other linkage peg. So we want these two views in an ISO, create that. We want to color this in. Okay. What else do we got? The linkage arm, that's the last one. So the linkage arm is going to be kind of cool. I'm going to show you how to do a line break, because this thing's going to be really long, and we want this scaled 2:1. Just turn it so we can custom view this. We want to look at it like this. Okay, so you can see how long it is here, and we want on top of it, and then we'll put ISO as well. You see how much room it takes up? It's kind of big. So what we can do here is put a break in, and I'm going to break it right here on this view. Okay, so we're going to click, and then you have break right here, break. And all we do for break is just kind of click where you want it to break at. So, I don't know, let's say from here to here is going to be broken. And it just takes and shortens that line. So the dimensions are the same. So when you come in here and annotate it, be sure you get your center marks again and your centerline bisectors. But when you come to dimension, this thing is not any shorter than it used to be. It's still 3.5. It's just saves you some space on the paper. Okay? So a couple of things we want to do now that we have this all kind of laid out, is we need to get in here. People aren't going to know what this is. So you'll want to come back, make sure you turn on to your base view. Make sure you turn on your light bulb, change the name here to stack. That way people can see that this is the stack. You might have to move some pieces around a little bit. Here we're going to do the same thing. We're going to turn the light bulb on, call this hitch magnet. Axle peg, you kind of get the point. We're coming through here and labeling everything. Now I could have done this as I was putting it down. Didn't really think about it till right now, so that's why we're going back and putting it in there now. Hitch peg. Turn the light on. Okay. Linkage peg. Turn the light on. Okay. So now you see we have all this information. Oh, we still got this one more. Linkage arm. Let's turn this light on. Okay. So now it just kind of looks like a big mess. We need to come in here and clean it up. Okay. So let's put this in the center of the page. Let's put this down a little bit. Okay. This one maybe down a little bit. Same here. Right. This guy, we'll move you over just a tad so everything else can fit as well. So that looks pretty good. Now let's make all of these the same height. So just come in, make it pretty. Don't have just stuff everywhere. So give me a second to kind of clean mine up. So once you have all this finished, lined up, come in, add all your center marks, add all your centerline bisectors, and then after your centerline bisectors, you need to come in and dimension everything. And all these dimensions are given to you on that sheet again. Now remember, do not dimension the hidden lines, so you lose points here. You don't want to dimension this circle here. You want to dimension it down here. Okay, so you can put a little diameter. You may need to click on both ends here and come down. It's going to be in the way of your other part, which is okay, because you can come and move this down and out of the way. Okay, so make sure you don't have a bunch of stuff on top of one another and dirty, so you will have dimensions all over the place here. So next, you have to do another page, and your next page is going to be for your wheel. So you'll come back here for place views. You're going to hit new sheet. And again, we're just going to go miniature train, your name, period you're in, and then the part you're working on. Now the wheel is going to be slightly different. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to put a base down. Find my wheel. Okay. Now I want a front view of my wheel here with the little knob on the right side. And then I'm just going to finish that custom view. The scale on this one I want it to be 3:1. Okay. And we'll turn this light on here, and we'll just call this wheel. And I'm just going to click it down right there and say OK. So once I do that, I'm going to take a half section again of my wheel. So I'm going to start half section of this part out off the middle. So we'll start here at the middle, come over. So click on outside of the wheel, click the center of the wheel, click here, right click, continue. And then we'll come out here and you'll see a broken out piece of the wheel. So we can do this on any side we want. I'm going to do it here, I guess. I like the way that looks better because it doesn't cut my peg in half. So I'm going to put the wheel here. I'm going to put the section view here. And now we need a projected view of, I'd like to project this one so you can see it cut in half. Okay, and then we'll do a detail as well, but give us a second to get to that detail. So I'm going to take this and just put it here. Where do I want to put that? Let's move the scale words down here. I'm going to put this one right above the wheel. Man, I don't know, it's so hard to choose where I want to put this. That looks good. And I'm going to go ahead and uncheck the box, color it in, say OK. Now the next thing we want a section of is this part so we can dimension it. So you're going to take, or not a section, I'm sorry, a detail. We're going to take detail here, click on it, and just draw a circle around it, okay? And then you should see the letter here, detail D, and then it just zooms in and makes a little detailed section for us to work on. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is kind of make this smaller. That detail's a little too big. So I'm going to change the size, and then I'm going to move it just so it's on top of the little circle here, because that's all we need to see. Alright, and I just set it over here. Okay, and then down here it put the words detail D. We want that to be over here with the detail so we know that this detail D is this section. It's not on top of the wheel. Now you'll just come in here like you did on your last one. You're going to do your center marks first. You're going to do your center line bisectors next. You're going to add all of your dimensions in and then move on to the final one, which is going to be the cow catcher. So I'm going to do another new sheet. Miniature train, your name, your period, and then your part. Now the cow catcher is going to be different because you're going to use an auxiliary view. And what an auxiliary view is something that shows us our angled edges, but at true dimension. So this one's going to be kind of weird. So I'm going to click cow catcher. I'm going to open this up. The first thing I want to do is get a good view of it. Now the front of the cow catcher is actually this piece. But what I want to do is look at it from the back so I can work on these pegs. These pegs won't be hidden. Okay? So this is going to be my front view. Then I'm going to come over and do my right. Then I'm going to come over and do my top. And then I'm going to come over here and not do my ISO. So this is kind of breaking the rules a little bit. But it's the best way to dimension it. So let's go ahead and place down an ISO of the cow catcher as well. So I'm going to do a custom view. I want it one more and right here. So I want a picture of that. Okay, and then let's color that in. Alright. So here we need one more, which is an auxiliary view. And another detail view so we can show this extrusion here. So I'm just going to do a detail, just like in the picture of this little front section, detail E. Make sure the E right here is off the page. And I'm just going to set it right underneath, somewhere here. Okay, and now let's move these down. We got detail E right here. The scale's a little big. We don't need it that big, so I'm going to scale it down 4:1. Okay, and that just gives us something to dimension to there. Now if you want to dimension this, what you can do, you've never seen these ones before, but you can do leader text. So I'm just going to click here, leader text, and I'm going to click on, I don't know, this little edge, and come out, and then double click. And when I do that, it'll give me some text to work with. And I'm just going to put that dimension in there myself, 0.050. And then say OK. Once you get that, we can start working on the auxiliary view. So, what the auxiliary view is you see this angled edge right here. It's at an angle here, it's at an angle, but say that the distance between here and here is 0.5, right, or half of an inch. Well, when you're looking at it like this, it doesn't look like half an inch. So this is where we need an auxiliary view. So we're going to click auxiliary view, and then we're going to click one of these angled lines here. So first click on the part. So click on auxiliary view, highlight the part in red, click on it, and then pick one of the angled lines that you want to reference. or come off of, right? So I'm going to click this one, and then I'm just going to bring a picture out like this. Now if you look, it just took this angle and it's made it flat now. So all of these parts are now at true size. So I'm going to double click on this here. I'm going to make this solid so it gets rid of all these hidden lines. And the only thing I really care about is this little portion here. So I'm going to come in and take all of these pieces, and I'm going to hold down Control and click the rest. So these are all green, these are all green. Zoom in and get that guy. I'm going to right click and just hide them. Okay, same here. I'm going to take all of these ones. This is just so we can get a quick, easy dimension of the offset that you used right here. Okay, that's good. And then these ones. Oh, I highlighted too much there. So this line, visibility, and this line, visibility. Okay, so now this is set up here, so you can come in and you can do your dimension between these 2 points. So remember this, whoops, not the points to these 2 lines. Remember this was 0.100. Now remember this is typical, so you need to come in here and add the TYP, okay? So that just tells us that, okay, everything, these 2 lines are 0.1, these 2 lines are 0.1, these 2 lines are 0.1. I don't have to come in here and add that a whole bunch of times. Alright, so now you have your aux view set up, you have your detail view set up, you have the rest of this set up. Same thing, you're going to come in, do your center marks first, then do your centerline bisectors, then do all your dimensioning. So you should get all the dimensions. If the dimension is in the packet, that dimension is going to be in your sheet as well. Alright, so get it built up, then we'll print it out. And let me show you how we're going to print that out. So you're going to come up here to I, the big application menu, and then you're going to go to Export, PDF. And when you export a PDF here, you want to click on Options. Make sure you do all sheets, because if not, it's just going to print out one sheet and you're not going to get a good grade at all on this. So you're going to save this as Train Explosion and hit Save. Okay? I'm sorry, not Train Explosion. You're going to save it as Working Drawings, but that's okay if you save it as Train Explosion or whatever. We want to call it Working Drawings. So just for a matter of making things right, let's do this again. Export PDF. You're going to call it Working Drawings. Options, make sure all sheets is selected, and hit OK. And then it's after you save it, it's going to export and it's going to open up here. You should be able to, scroll your mouse down and see all your pages with all your dimensions. And then you're going to go to File. You're going to click Print. And then here you're going to do multiple pages. And you don't want any of this custom whatever 2x2. Just do 2 pages per sheet. So it should look like this here. And then you're going to switch it over to Portrait, okay, or Vertical. Put this here. I don't know why it's not, oh, here we go. Sorry, things are getting out of control. There we go. You gotta click Auto Rotate Pages within Sheet. And then it will have, 2 sheets like this per sheet. And then you want to click Stony Point B264 1-point laser and print out to that. Once you print that out, you're just going to come turn them into me, staple them all together, and I'm going to grade them and hand them back to you next class. Alright, so let me know if you have any troubles.